Chapter 11. A kid wearing size 5 wingtip shoes hunches over a giant polished black desk, staring intently at one of 6 high-definition video screens. The screen labeled Drone Bug's Eye View. "Man, I hate this guy," says the kid. "It's bad enough he invents 2 great robots, but then all he does with them is talk. Blah, blah, I love science this, blah, blah, I love science that. What a moron. What an idiot." "Eat meat," replies the chimpanzee in the pinstripe pants sitting at the controls next to the kid. The big robot on the screen says, "Does a robot clink in the woods?" What did he say? Bad joke. Edison, because yes, of course it is. T. Edison in his headquarters, because really, who else wears size 5 wingtip shoes? Looks even more closely. Those robots are going to be tough to beat for the science prize, but Frank Einstein is not going to one-up me again. Edison slaps his hand on the desk. "Wait, what is that?" "They are making plans for something else. Zoom in." "Too noisy." "Don't tell me it's too noisy, you pooping primate. Zoom in." Mr. Chimp toggles the joystick control on the master panel. The picture zooms in tight on Frank Einstein. On the screen, Frank pauses. "Wait, did you hear that?" Mr. Chimp leans back in his office chair, crosses his big, hairy, bare feet on the desk. He pulls out the small metal ant box from his pants pocket and pushes a slender stick into the hole on top. "Hear what?" answers Watson on screen. "The fish alarm didn't go off." Mr. Chimp pulls out the ant-covered stick and licks up a quick snack. On the Drone Bug's Eye View screen, Frank Einstein pauses, then rolls out his plan. "I can't believe this," says Edison. "Is that what I think it is?" Mr. Chimp tucks his ant box back in his pocket, brushing a few stray ant legs off his white shirt and striped tie. "No!" screams Edison. "No, no, no!" He thrashes around in a tantrum, scattering papers, knocking pens and pencils flying. Mr. Chimp grabs the joystick with his toes and scans the drone bug camera over the plans. He signs, "Yes, it is." "Yes, I know it is what I think it is, you mangy monkey, but no, this cannot happen. That goober Einstein cannot win the science prize." Mr. Chimp curls back his lips, shows his teeth again in what a human might think was a smile. But if you were a chimpanzee, you would know Mr. Chimp was thinking about biting your throat out, ripping your arm off, and beating you senseless with it. "So, Einstein has a plan," says Edison. "Well, I have a plan too. Mr. Chimp, listen up." Chapter 12. Clink, clank, Frank and Watson kick into high gear. Frank lays out his wrenches and soldering iron, screwdrivers and pliers, hacksaw and hammer, rulers, clamps, and files. He consults his plan and directs his team. Clink prints out blueprints, charts, and formulas. Clank hauls in bits and pieces of a bicycle, mower, and motorcycle. Wires, tires, chains, and gears from the yard. Watson raids the repair shop and the kitchen for nuts and bolts and corkscrews and magnets. Frank solders and connects screws and bolts, hammers and files. Clink and Frank check, test, recheck, retest, and test some more. Time flies by without anyone noticing it, until suddenly the fish on the wall wriggles, flips its head sideways, and starts singing, "We are the champions, we are the champions." "Everyone under the workbench," calls Frank. "No one can know about you guys or our project yet." Watson throws a blue tarp over everything and dives under the workbench with Clink and Clink. "Move over," beeps Clink. "You are hogging all the room." "I am not," whispers Clink. "Stop pushing," hisses Watson. "Shh," says Frank, just as the door to the lab opens and, "Hello, scientists." Watson, pushed by Clank's big foot, rolls out from under the workbench. "Oh, hi, Grandpa Al." "Dr. Watson, good to see you. Playing with the new robots?" Watson jumps to his feet. "Oh, no, we are working on science prize stuff here. I've perfected my peanut butter bubble gum, and just wait till you see what Frank has." Clink and Clank roll, crawl, and unpack themselves from under the workbench. "Hey, boys, good to see you again. What have you been up to all morning?" Clank hums, blinks his antenna, and answers, "I have been up to about 1.8288 meters all morning. or in American measurements, 6 feet. Ha! Good one, laughs Grandpa Al. Except he's not kidding, says Frank. He means it. Clink revs his vacuum engine. We have actually been combining atoms and anti-atoms to produce energy for Frank Einstein's invention. Ha! Another good one. Making your own particle collider. Just like my scientist pals at CERN, who have been smashing atomic parts together for years and spending millions of dollars to do it. Grandpa Al winks at Watson. And you guys did it all in one day, with repair shop junk. You robots are funnier than a monkey's uncle. He's not kidding either. Frank whips the blue tarp off the object in the middle of the room. It looks like a bike from the future. Instead of pedals and gears, it has a small silver motor. Grandpa Al checks it out and nods. Your flying bicycle. I remember when you were working on this. But I could never get enough power in a small enough engine. Grandpa Al looks more closely at the engine and his eyes go wide. No. Really? So you mean you and your robots made an antimatter motor, says Frank. Grandpa Al takes off his faded NASA baseball cap and whistles. Well, if that isn't the bee's knees. Unbelievable. Oh, very believable, says Clink. A small amount of H2O combined with an equal amount of anti-H2O produces crazy amounts of energy, marvels Grandpa Al. Frank holds up an eyedropper. You are just in time for the first test run. We have the anti-water we made all loaded. All we need to add now is the one drop of water. Grandpa Al puts a hand on Frank's arm. Frank, this is really dangerous. Don't worry, Grandpa. We've run all our tests. We've double-checked everything. The antimatter motor flybike is good. 100%. All systems go, Clink reports. Boom, chicka boom, Techno beats Clink. Grandpa Al nods. It's not your flybike I'm worried about. It's what other people might do with your antimatter invention if they get a hold of it. No one else can do this, says Frank, because no one else has Clink and Clank. And isn't this just the coolest bike ever? Grandpa Al scratches his head and smiles. Absolutely cool. This is going to work, Grandpa, Frank says. The antimatter motor flybike is going to win the prize, and we are going to keep this place forever. Grandpa Al smiles and nods. Frank carries the antimatter motor flybike out into the deserted alley and empty lot behind Grandpa Al's building. He loads the motor with one drop of water to mix with the one drop of anti-water. He straps his helmet on tight, hops on the bike, and with one small flick of his thumb on the ignition switch, fires up the most amazing invention, powered by the smallest bit of matter meeting the smallest bit of antimatter with the powerful The flybike rises easily off the ground. Frank guns it forward with a lean and a twist of the acceleration hand grip. Oh yeah, cheers Watson. Frank jets a quick circle down the alley and back. He banks a faster figure eight in the empty lot. He jumps the broken couch, flips over the stack of empty milk crates, goes horizontal along the back wall of the shop building, and does a nosedive 360, spinning to a stop exactly 7 centimeters from Watson's left toe. Clink nods his webcam eye. Energy from matter. Clink gives Frank a one-arm hug. Sweet moves. Watson slides his toe back just a bit. An antimatter motor flybike and Watson's universal strength peanut butter bubble gum. Tomorrow, that science prize is ours for sure. Frank guns the antimatter motor with another deep which might be why no one hears or sees a tiny metal bug fly up and out of Frank Einstein's lab.